guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing part 2 of how to block print on fabric at home, which is all about design and pattern. Creating a design to block print can sometimes be a bit daunting, so in this episode I'm going to show you some of the warming up exercises and things that I've included in my daily activities to help with the process. The first thing I think about is choosing my design based on what I'm planning to make up with the fabric that I print. A much larger print will look great on an upholstery piece, and a much smaller, more delicate print would work well on a clutch bag or pouch. So the size of the design, how I place it, and the proximity of the elements to one another all play a role. Here I chose to make 2 blocks and alternate them while printing. But before I even get to this point of printing, I go through a lot of thinking, sketching, and planning. I often take photos when I'm out in nature. When I was taking a walk on the beach yesterday, I found so many beautiful pieces of seaweed washed up on the beach that were really interesting. They created so many patterns and ideas in my head, and I pictured them sketched and carved onto a lino block immediately. When you're going about your normal day-to-day activities, try to be more aware of what's around you and look for patterns in things that have always been there, but maybe you're only noticing them now. It takes some time to build this habit, but when it's there, you'll be amazed at all the patterns that you notice and how inspiring it is to take a walk in nature or around town. For me, the best place to start is my sketchbook. I keep doodles here and often just draw random designs or objects as I am inspired. I try to work this exercise into most days of the week, and I've found the more that I draw, the more I feel comfortable with it and the better my designs become. You need to just draw as much as you can, the more the better. Something to keep in mind are the amount of details that you want to have in your design. If you are a beginner, you may want to start with something simple with thicker lines, and when you have practiced more, you can start to attempt a more detailed piece. But you can also just jump right in and give it a bash. There's nothing stopping you. I really like the idea of this wheel-looking design that I have drawn in my doodles. I have an idea to make it more than just this element when all the final printing is done and turn it into something else. One idea may just spark another idea for a more in-depth design as you progress in the process. This is the case here with my wheel. When you see it later, it won't look like a wheel at all. So now I'm going to transfer this to a little eraser and carve it out with my tools. I really enjoy the process of carving and find it very calming and mindful. I'm just cutting down the sides of this eraser now to be able to hold it and reference it better when stamping it in my book. There is something rather exciting about doing test prints when you have just finished carving your design. I do quite a few test prints to make sure I'm happy with how the design lands up on the page. You will also be able to see if there is anything that you perhaps missed when you were carving. You can go back and do a little bit more carving in that case before you start to print your final prints. As I get to the next technique I want to share with you, I have chosen another design from my doodles. I'm going to go through the same process as I did with the wheel eraser design and get this new design ready to stamp as well. I have learned a lot from researching design and pattern creation over the years. There are a lot of creatives around, and a lot of them enjoy sharing their process too. The idea here is not to copy their designs, but to learn the techniques they share and which angle they take to thinking up new designs. When you have a shape in mind, you can draw it over and over again to see the types of pattern it creates. You can also do this in a digital design program like Photoshop or Procreate. The most exciting way for me to see a design make a pattern is by using rubby erasers as small stamps or versions of your design and a stamp pad. This is basically a quick version of block printing on a smaller scale. I wanted to create a simple design as an example to show you what you can do with one element and all the different options it can create when it comes to placing them. There are so many warming up exercises that can spin off some interesting patterns to get you started. The idea with this technique is to show you what is possible by printing the same element in different forms and shades. What comes out is inspiring and always seems to get my mind in the right frame to design something interesting to print. For these examples, I have chosen a simple element with two different shapes on either side. For the first, print your elements side by side. The idea here is to keep all the sides directly next to one another, sides and tops and bottoms. Then try the same idea with the tiles further from one another, just leaving a little gap of the same size between each element. Now do the same, but with one dark and one light element. To do this, you ink up your block and print twice before inking it again. For the next pattern, try turning the direction of your element 45 degrees, either left or right. This is the half drop. It means you're printing your second print next to the first one, but halfway down the first print. Then you move up again and then down again. This pattern is right way up and upside down, and it's simply turning your block one way and then the other way each time you print. The brick pattern is the same as the half drop, but it is a horizontal version. This next pattern is just completely random with its placement, using the same stamp. Now you can bring in other stamps and show the completely random placement and any other ideas that you come up with. Now that the creative juices are flowing, I have settled on my design and I'm going to draw the size I want my design to be and get it ready to be transferred to my aligner block. I'm using a 4B or softer pencil for this process. I will be drawing my design onto this piece of white paper to start. If your design is in a sketchbook, grab some tracing paper to trace your design with the same 4B or softer pencil. For both options, make sure you have drawn dark lines with the pencil. It is essentially going to act as carbon paper in the next video. Something really important to remember is that you can draw and design something to print. I am by no means a super talented illustrator, but I can draw simple designs and I am proud of what I create. If I can teach you anything with these videos, it is that you can do this and you can design something unique. I really hope you enjoyed learning these techniques that help me find new designs to print, and that it sparks something in you to design your own. Join me in a couple of weeks for the next video on how to transfer your design to the linoleum and carve it. Feel free to ask me any questions you have in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.